round of golf or something like that,
Oh, that's a big debate in our world right now, is whether or
isn't
not
it?
we try and do a golf tournament this year. We put it to the side, all of that last year. So
Right.
The shame of the situation is that something like a golf tournament you could do safely, right? But sometimes it's more about the optics of the situation than the reality.
well, that's true, right? When people are struggling, it's
Yeah.
hard. It's hard to be doing something celebratory. So
You got it.
Mhm.
Is
That's
Linda, Phil, Lyle,
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning. Good morning, Lyle. Hey.
is Sully on the phone?
Good morning.
Amy,
Good morning.
morning. And Renee is coming in. And a hush falls over the crowd. Now everyone's starting to stream in.
Hey, Renee.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, good morning.
Morning, Renee.
Hello. Oh, it's still dark outside.
Yeah.
A beautiful sunrise, though.
Yeah. You may maybe seen it, but I'm not. Like, I'm behind houses here. Anyway,
You're
it's nice
grateful?
to see the snow all gone.
For the moment. And there's
Very
Bonnie.
true.
Welcome, Bonnie.
Morning.
And Lisa.
Good morning, everyone.
Here comes Wayne.
Morning.
Yeah, morning. And Mike.
Morning.
Steve, code.
Hi, Amy.
Hey, me.
I can't get how big George is.
Oh, I know. He's going to beat me up soon.
He's huge.
He wins. He already wins the arm wrestle. Well, he is a code. He is bigger than normal. The poor little bugger. Oh, well. He's coming over today for a visit.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
Excellent.
Yeah.
So, Steve, what does it feel like to be a babe magnet and a grandfather all at the same time?
You're so good for my ego.
Well, I've always wondered that, eh? I used to fear that.
Yo, Red, I went.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Can I buy you lunch, Fred?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. For
I want to
sure.
buy you lunch for that one. And if I was able to take the little guy out on a stroll, it'd be easier, wouldn't it?
Yeah. Listen, I'm
Fred,
available
hey,
to
Fred.
babysit too. Yeah.
Fred, how's it feel to be a grandmother magnet?
Not bad, actually. Yeah. I just like to be around people, and it's pretty lonely in my garage.
Yeah, I'm sure.
My wife works out there and I stay in the house, so I keep cooking and doing the laundry.
So she has you trained well, Fred.
Pardon me?
She has you trained very well.
Oh, listen,
Right.
out of the 260 candidates that applied for the job, I think I came out with an A++.
Well, there you go.
Yeah, oh, yeah, yeah.
The funny part is he's telling the truth.
Yeah. Now listen, the payback is good.
That's right.
You bet.
Okay.
Hey, there's the birthday boy. Happy birthday, Gord Wallace.
Gord Wallace.
I've been waiting.
Happy birthday.
Yeah.
You guys-
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Gordy. Happy birthday to you.
All right, and with that, and with Ellie coming in, we may as well get things underway, everyone.
Ellie missed that?
She missed that, but that's okay. All
Next
right.
year.
Well, welcome to the, what is it, the March 16th edition of the Bowmanville Rotary Club Online. Goodness, we hope online ends soon. Thanks for joining, everyone. We do have just two guests today, Sheila and Bonnie from CBOT. Gord's going to do a more fulsome introduction of them in a couple of minutes. But before we dive into things, a toast or two to Her Majesty, to the Queen,
The Queen.
to Canada,
Canada
and to Rotary International.
and Rotary International.
And all right.
All right, and now over to Lisa Tamblin, who's going to do our induction. Lisa, are you safe to do the induction?
Invocation.
Invocation, sorry, invocation.
Induction. Yeah, I was going to say. Well,
Just pass the
Listen, keeping
syringe.
things exciting,
I didn't
okay?
know there was a medical thing going on.
You're getting that screwed up thing over
I'd
with
have
early.
worn I'd have worn my mask.
All right, all right.
Okay.
There you go, Lisa.
May God give you, for every storm, a rainbow, for every tear, a smile, for every care, a promise, and a blessing in each trial, for every problem life sends, a faithful friend to share, for every sigh, a sweet song, and an answer for each prayer.
Thank you, Lisa. Very nice.
Thanks. I hope you're parked, Lisa.
Yes.
That's the answer regardless. All right. On to birthdays and anniversaries. As Fred let us know so mellifluously, today is Gord Wallace's birthday. Happy birthday, Gord. Also
Happy birthday,
coming up,
Gord.
Happy birthday, Gord.
also coming up on March 20th, it's Ross Metcalf's birthday.
Nice.
So happy birthday to Ross. Might
Yes.
be good to give him a ring, folks.
Yep.
Bring a smile to Ross's face. It'd be okay to call Gord too, but Ross is, give Ross a call. And celebrating 7 years in service with Rotary is Bonnie Cito. Interestingly enough, just so the club knows, Bonnie sent a note and we had a chat yesterday. Bonnie's spending an awful lot of time in the city just at the moment, so she's going to be taking a little bit of a break from Rotary, but hopes to be back in September. So if you don't see or hear Bonnie on a call, that's why. Okay, and with that, over to Gord to introduce our speakers, Sheila and Bonnie.
Okay, I'm on. Good. So I've got all kinds of material here. It took a lot of prodding to get it out of them. And then I had, of course, my natural research with people that know them for years and years and years. I came up with, I thought would be really good if I just gave an intro with just a few words. I don't know if that's going to work, but I thought of I had 5 words, but I forgot about the other one. So I only came up with 4 words that best describe both Bonnie and Sheila, as I've known them both for actually quite a long time now. And I got fun, fantastic, passionate, and caring. I wanted to just do that for an intro, but I know you guys wouldn't like that. So I'll tell you a little bit about Sheila. First, she started her humble career in the commercial, industrial, custom brokerage, import documentation, and clearance. I don't even know what that is, but that's what I don't think she did either. That's why she went to CBOT. Then 10 years for home care for her kids when she moved to Bowmanville. After a couple of part-time bookkeeping and customer service jobs, she started with CBOT in 2001 in an admin role. And then taking advantage of the opportunities presented at CBOT, that means that she got rid of all the other people at CBOT. She became the executive director since around 2008. And she's proud of the amazing team that she's had the privilege to work with at CBOT. Not only with the office team, but the hundreds of volunteers and partners that make CBOT such a strong organization of the Clarington community. So that's what she wrote, basically. And I'm just going to point out that what a fantastic leader that Sheila is, because you can, when you want to give a good leader, when you want to mark a good leader, Sheila has surrounded herself with fantastic people. And that's the mark of a good leader and a strong organization. So that's just my own comment on that. In her current role as executive director, Sheila's strong partnerships with all levels of government and organization leaders. She provides a platform for her team to lead Clarington business growth and retention and help build a sustainable economic climate for the Clarington community. Sheila has participated and taken strong leadership roles in many organizations across the region of Durham with a focused knowledgeable approach for energy, agriculture, healthcare, and service sectors. Sheila has served as president of the Rotary Club of Curtis and is currently co-chairing the Bowmanville Hospital Community Advisory Panel. Sheila sits on the Darlington Community Advisory Committee, Lake Ridge Health Master Plan Steering Committee, and the Durham Workforce Authority Local Employment Planning Council. Sheila's involved in many critical community initiatives, including the extension of the GO train to Clarington and securing broadband, of which, Sheila, we just got Rogers here at IBW 2 weeks ago, and ensuring support for Clarington refurbishment and business development initiatives. And she also told me that she was born and raised in Scarborough, and then she escaped to Clarington in 1991 with her husband, and she's got 2 children, a son and a daughter. And she, like Steve Code, she's a proud grandmother, whereas Steve Code's a proud grandfather. It's kind of the same thing, except different. And they're both very young grandparents from my perspective. I'm kind of surprised that you're both grandparents. You seem like they're the same age as me, and I couldn't be a grandfather. Now, Bonnie, she's different. She's a completely different person. She grew up in Mississauga, where she escaped to Clarington in 2002, but she continued working in Brampton for 8 years. She was a marketing manager. And then she realized she was spending most of her waking hours commuting. And then she applied to CBOT in 2008 and became part of a 3-person team as economic development coordinator. She was pretty happy about the 5-minute commute, as opposed to, I don't know what that was before, but it must have been death. And she's got an incredible passion for Clarington and Clarington business. She moved into the manager role in 2015, allowing her to support the growing team and talent and business support, advocacy, and attraction initiatives. I don't know what that is, but it sounds good. Her portfolio includes implementing solution-driven initiatives to support Clarington businesses and help create an environment for new business investment. She also works with high schools to engage youth, encouraging them to explore the diversity and employment opportunities with Clarington business community. She's got 2 young boys who are in school, and I'm sure they get very excited if their mother comes to do her job at their school. It's like, wow, that's great. Mom's here today talking to all my friends. So anyway, Bonnie has a fantastic passion for Clarington, which makes sense coming from Mississauga. And we're very happy to have her here, and Sheila. So if we give them a warm welcome after that fantastic introduction.
Thanks, Gord.
Good, Gord.
Okay, let me see if I can share my screen here. Thank you so much, Gord. I was scared. I actually was scared, but it's okay. I'm okay.
So while Bonnie's pulling a bit of a PowerPoint presentation up for everybody, I just want to, for those that don't know me, I know many of you, but my name is Sheila Hall. I'm Executive Director at the Clarington Board of Trade and Office of Economic Development. Gord, you're a hard act to follow, but we will do our best. I will say I was a Rotarian for many years in Curtis, and it feels like coming home this morning to come and present to this group. I think once Rotary is in your blood, it's in your blood forever. And whether we're actively practicing or sitting in the sidelines for a little bit, being kind and helping others is who we are in our DNA and what we do as Rotarians. So that being said, it sort of fits really well into my introduction to the Board of Trade. So I'm just going to talk a little bit about who we are for those that don't know, and what and why we do what we do. And then Bonnie will take you through a little bit of a climate check on the economy for the pandemic time and outside of the pandemic time, because there's still lots going on that doesn't include sentences with the word COVID. We are a business organization. We're membership based. We are also contracted by the municipality of Clarington to execute their economic development portfolio. So what does that mean? That means we're here to help business grow, essentially. So we are connectors in the community. We have really strong partnerships with organizations stemming from many levels of government, the universities, the colleges, business organizations, funding opportunity, funding bodies, and more intimately with the teams at the municipality and the region of Durham, who have direct impact into how businesses can operate, change, grow, and relocate. So we spend a little bit of time doing external attraction outreach, trying to bring new businesses to Clarington. So Bonnie will talk a bit about some of the success stories we've had over the last couple of years. Obviously, not only in pandemic, but far reaching from pandemic, our goal is to reach out, to have personal relationships with each business, as many businesses as we can. There are many in Clarington, so that's a difficult task for 6 people, but we do our best to learn about them, let them tell us what they need to help the economy grow in Clarington and to help create jobs. Economic Development's office often termed as that our role is job creating. I push back on that because it's the business community that is creating jobs, not the Economic Development Office. So we are there to support that, to support and provide a community that is fruitful for businesses to grow and create jobs. So that being said, we've worked on many things like infrastructure projects, helping infrastructure projects move forward, making sure that we have a strong workforce in place for people to hire. And a great project to talk about is down in South Curtis, where they have no sewer and water. Through some of our collaborative conversations, we were able to bring a group of business leaders together that were willing to put some skin in the game. We partnered them with the municipality, we partnered them with the region of Durham in order to get a project moving so that they can get, as they would call 20th century infrastructure in place that should have been there anyways. So those are the kind of projects that we really get excited about doing. So I think that community engagement, collaboration, if I was to sum it up in a few words, and connectivity are really the pillars that we do everything on, because it's not, ego doesn't serve anybody. We don't do what we do in a silo. We do it together with every partner that we can possibly engage in our process. Bonnie?
Okay. You're not very good at following slides, but that's okay.
I'm not a rule follower.
Yeah, I know. I should have known that after 13 years. Just want to pop a picture of our team up. It's just not me and Sheila. So like Gord said, good leadership is surrounded by a phenomenal team. So this is Tanya, and she does membership and events coordination. Marnie does a lot of our administration work. Jess is our marketing and communications person, and Adam, he is our, I guess I confused you when I said attraction initiative, so that could mean a lot of things. It's our investment lead who strengthens relationships with the real estate community and developer community and investment community to promote Clarington and try to bring businesses here. Great team. So I just want to give you guys just a quick snapshot of really the climate of the Clarington business community. It still blows me away every time I see this. So over 400 working farms, over 100 manufacturers, retailers, quite a few professional and personal services, and we're blessed to have several tourist attractions in Clarington. So we have about 6,400 businesses in Clarington, and 72% of that, they're sole proprietors, which means they don't have any employees, so they have just themselves to run their business. 97% of our businesses have under 20 employees, so we're definitely defined as a small business community, for sure. And I would do Leah Bourgeois proud. I had to put an OPG quote in there that we provide 20% of Ontario's electricity through Darlington nuclear generation plant. That's enough to serve a city of 2 million people. So just a couple of quick snapshots. Our major sectors in Clarington, probably the two strongest economic drivers is agriculture and energy, followed by manufacturing, tourism, and health and life sciences. And I'll come back to that in 1 second. I'll just do it now. Might as well do it now. So Sheila and I talked ahead of time about we once had a heavy interest in the cannabis industry wanting to come to Clarington. The reason why they wanted to set up shop in Clarington is we were a very welcome host community. There are quite a few communities in Ontario, probably across Canada, who really see the cannabis industry as invasive and controversial, so they don't really make it easy for them to find a home in their communities. But we welcome them with open arms because they're job creators, and so them seeing that, that's number one in their priorities, is to go to a community who they feel welcomed and they're welcomed. So a few years ago, we were working with quite a few of them. I think at the time there were about 10 of them. Some of them were already here, and a lot of them were in the process of developing a building and moving forward with growing medicinal cannabis, doing research and processing into different products like edibles and things. So the market is very, I'm not say volatile, but it's none like we've ever seen in any other sector. It's very fast moving, with a lot of different variables impacting that, like access to capital and just the market itself, the illicit market, really kind of fighting against that to get a foothold into the industry legally. So that's impacted the industry, where Canopy Growth, they were the first company here, I'm going to say 8 years ago, just on Bennett Road there, just on the east side of Bowmanville. So they closed their operations in this year, this is 2021, right? In January, because they were changing their trajectory of their strategic growth. And so they had to close down a few of their shops and operations just to make sure that their profit margins stay healthy. Same thing with another one, Starseed Medicinal, and quite a few of them are facing just different challenges and shifts in the markets. So we're seeing that shift. They're not crumbling by any means. They're just kind of transforming into something a little different rather than the large cultivation companies, more so like micro growing that we're seeing now. So that's that shift in a big nutshell. You want me to continue about the pandemic? I was going to yap more. Sheila, do you want me to hand it over to you? Do you want me to keep going?
No, you keep going, Bonnie.
Oh, great. What a good leader. Thank you. Wanted to share with you kind of a little summary of how businesses are doing during the pandemic. They've been under a shroud of uncertainty and fear right from the get-go. This is nothing that they were prepared to deal with and process and prepare for. So right from the get-go, we had to kind of come together and say, well, what can we do? What can we do to help them navigate through this? And the word is uncertainty, and build up a fear of potentially closing down their business. So through the year, different sectors responded differently to the pandemic. At the beginning, all of them were impacted on some level. Some had to close right away because they just couldn't meet their rent, and really understanding how to navigate the financial assistance and support from the government. A lot was coming at them all at the same time, and trying to understand and peel back the layers of trying to take advantage of that funding was very difficult. So we connected very quickly with the MPP's office and NP, really just to do a deep dive and dissect what's helpful here. So how can we help business and get them to understand to apply to different levels of financial support. So that was the first thing that we did, along with reaching out to as many as we could on the phone and talking to as many as we could, just to say, here we are, we're here to help, and how is it impacting their business. So over the year, I would say there's about 20 permanent closures of businesses. Most of them have been wellness, aesthetics, personal services like hair salons and yoga studios and wellness, those types of businesses. Maybe one or two restaurants, only because they couldn't manage to pay the rent, but they hope to be back one day. So that being said, we have seen quite a few businesses opening right from the beginning of the pandemic up to last weekend, where businesses continue to open. So that balance of the two pertaining to job creation created about a net job loss of about 30 employees. So manufacturing is staying steady. They were impacted at first by the supply chain because they were impacted, but now it seems to be a steady move forward direction, and they in the beginning had to lay off some people. Most of them, if not all, have them all back again. So again, most impacted have been retail, tourism for sure, because people aren't allowed to come out and visit attractions and things. So let's see what happens in the summer as the third wave is on its heels, and we'll have to see what happens there. So the last survey that we did just kind of took a temperature of the position of how the businesses were impacted by the pandemic. I'm not going to go through each one of them, but this is a snapshot from January. One that I really wanted to point out, was 88% of the businesses. This is about a result of about 100 businesses who responded of all types. they were aware of the government program supports. So which tells a great story in our, I guess, effectiveness of reaching out and making sure they understand, like we're on the borderline of not hounding them, but making sure that they have access to that information and those resources. So the majority of them are aware of government support, which is refreshing. So you may be wondering, yeah, that's great. So what else has the Clarington Board of Trade done to support businesses throughout? So really, in addition to helping them navigate the ever-changing financial support through the many levels of government, in the beginning, we recognized through our conversations that they were having a real challenge in accessing the essentials of PPE essentials like hand sanitizer, gloves, and masks, because residents were rushing around trying to buy everything up along with toilet paper. But our business community, they were really having a hard time single sourcing that. So we reached out to a warehousing company and Canadian Tire, Bowmanville, and said, let's create a partnership. And what we did is we purchased gloves, sanitizer, and masks from Canadian Tire, and threw them in my van each week and delivered them to the warehouse. And we offered the opportunity for businesses to buy them at cost. So they ordered supplies through us, and they picked them up at the warehouse every week at a specific time. And so that's the picture of Janet and Dave on the bottom there from Romancing the Home, and down Bowmanville, picking up, and her little dog, picking up hand sanitizer from Greeley. So that was a phenomenal partnership, and that really helped them prepare and ensure that the health and safety of their customers and employees when they came to shop. Notice that at that time, mask wearing wasn't quite as enforced, but it was later on. We've done tons of buy local advertising, videos. We continue to do that. We have a dedicated collaboration, like Sheila mentioned. We couldn't have pulled together anything that we have done through the pandemic without collaboration and partnerships with entities such as the Durham Region Task Force, which is comprised of all the chambers, all the economic development offices, all the BIAs, and Durham Region partners, where we come together. I think it's once a month. It seems like it's about once a week, but I think it's either every 3 weeks or once a month to talk about joint initiatives and how to support the business community. So it's a great discussion in the municipality as well. And we do tons of roundtables, to Sheila's point, those solution-driven initiatives and how to help them recover. We do a lot of information sessions, a lot of business-to-business opportunity to share best practices, stuff like that. That's just a few images of we printed some of the signs from Durham Region Health, PDFs, and handed them out to businesses to make sure that they have them in their windows, that type of thing. Very proud of the business community. We really want to promote any initiatives that they're undertaking, from pivoting their businesses to make hygienic barriers, to make shields. I know Sunspace in Newcastle donated quite a bit of their shields to, I believe that's the picture of Foodland on the bottom right corner. There's donations of masks, be it 1 box or 10 boxes. They really came through for each other during this time, and that really showed in those efforts. Sheila, I don't know if you want to talk about community development, Sheila, because I'll just keep going.
Sure, I'll give you a chance to have a sip of water.
Thank you.
So public infrastructure is also a huge job creator. So we try to keep our our finger on the pulse of those types of projects. We're incredibly involved, as Gord mentioned in my bio, with the hospital projects, whether it's the Bowmanville Hospital expansion or helping support the Durham Hospice project in any way that we can. So very excited to see the hospital expansion moving forward in their planning process. And we're there to help not only them with their plans, but how do we connect the business community so that our local contractors and suppliers have an opportunity to work within those projects. So I think that's that slide, Bonnie.
Perfect, thank you. You want you want to take over? I can do it.
Go ahead.
Nancy, thanks.
I'm good at sharing.
What's that?
I'm good at sharing.
I know you are. You are good at sharing. So good segue though, when Sheila said that we connect the business community to opportunity. So that's just it. You know, this slide that we've put together, this is from, we keep using this over the years because it just doesn't get old. It's what we do. So great picture in the middle that we had a contractors fair type of thing for the Port Hope Area Initiative project. This is years ago, but this really tells a story of you know, the interest in businesses wanting to connect with opportunities that these projects lend. So the 407 extension, big check mark there. So that was completed at the end of December, which was ahead of schedule, which is nice to see. So that just creates more of that connectivity part on that transportation piece. The Port Granby project, that was a low-level radioactivity soil project that had to remove the soil closer to the shoreline from the shoreline to low-level radioactive waste contained mound, and that's done now. The GO train still happening. Still happening. During the pandemic, people have always had the fear of the province saying, well, you know, we need the money for other things and recovery efforts for the pandemic, but this is not being impacted. So this is still moving forward, and that commitment is still being made by the province and Metrolinx. So they're on track. They're on track. Okay. So is the Darlington refurbishment project, $12 billion project that's moving forward on time and on budget, is what I'll say to that. And these infrastructure projects, I think almost, including the hospital rehabilitation and expansion, these are those are the largest, some of the largest projects in Canada's infrastructure projects. So that's great to be a part of that. So just to give you guys an idea, which you already know, hopefully everybody, that Clarington Parks Distribution Center has made their home here in Clarington, just on the east end on Lambs Road and Baseline Road. We are very happy that they made the choice to make Clarington their home. We were very proud to be part of that collaborative team to help them make that choice and help them navigate those development processes, which is never easy, especially with a building of this size. And again, working with the municipality, the region, and Toyota, again, they wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us all working together. So we're blessed to be a part of that, including the team, Cushman and Wakefield, who represented them on a realtor level. So we had a great relationship with them, and they loved Clarington to begin with, because we had a relationship with them as well. So that really helped to leverage their decision to come here. But I did want to mention, before I go on to a few more businesses making their home here, that I'd say more so in 2021. We had some interest in 2020, but we are getting bombarded with requests for additional logistics centers or fulfillment centers, like the Amazons of the world. And hearing in the news a few days ago where the Amazon building planned to be constructed in Pickering. They are no longer moving forward because they were going on wetlands, and so they have to protect those wetlands in Pickering. So that looks like an opportunity, doesn't it? So, but we are getting quite a few inquiries from anywhere from 10 to 30 acres to bring logistics centers here. So that's really interesting for sure. I'll get into that in a second. So making Clarington home. So the Ontario Power Generation corporate campus, I think that announcement was made, I'm going to say 2019, June 2019, I think, that there will be a campus, a 200,000 square foot campus to be built that will house the corporate staff of OPG from here to, all the way to Southern Ontario down to Niagara and more, to combine those corporate offices into one campus. So that will result in over 2,500 jobs coming here. They are on track to actually be open by 2024. I understand there are discussions already with the municipality and their site plan and what that concept looks like. So very excited. We have to work on that messaging for that new workforce coming in to kind of share with them all about Clarington, what we have to offer, and how they can integrate themselves. And if they want to move here, that's great too. So we are working with OPG on that and forward. So, and just across the street from the future campus, if you have driven by Curtis Road and south of the 401, you'll see that big gray building. That is East Penn, Canada. They are in the middle of building their another 200,000 square foot distribution center for batteries. Right now, they of any kind, anywhere for tiny batteries for small appliances to batteries for forklifts and some cars as well. And right now they are in Ajax and Pickering, so they want to amalgamate into one, and we work with them to find some space here as well. So they want to be open this September, 200 employees. So that's exciting. Just a few other ones that are in concept and site plan right now. These are both going to be in Curtis. Clearwater Structures, they're bridge components manufacturer, bringing 35 jobs. I'm sorry, this one's going to be in Bowmanville on Lake Road. And Olympia Steel, I think they make steel drums for waste in Curtis, 18 jobs. So you see there, okay, that's Sheila's finale at the end. So I just want to mention just quickly that I know it's really small for you to see, but this is a map of almost the entirety of Clarington. The little colored parts that you see kind of dotted around, those yellow and green and all those fun colors. These are identified as what we call employment lands in Clarington. So these are the lands that permit development, commercial industrial development. And this is a reality that our office and the municipality have to deal with when new investment comes to town. The big yellow on the left side is just indicative of lands that are not serviced yet. They will be in the future because you see the big GO Train logo there. So in the future, there will be servicing there. But you'll see the green areas are fully serviced, which means they have municipal water and sewer. And the blue and purple means they have a mix of either one or the other. So, and the big black lines that we see that I have, explanations under, these are the pieces that are on the market that we have to work with. So all those red little dots and blue little dots, except for the big red dot, which has a conditional offer on it, we only have about 16 acres of industrial land to work with to bring business here. And these are the parcels that are either fully serviced or partially serviced. So we do have a challenge in landing those big giant logistics centers. And so this is when we have to pull those partners together and have those discussions with the region, with the municipality, and say, okay, this is the reality of the market. How are we going to look and give them some options and explore options and help move that needle pertaining to job growth. So the region has identified some priority servicing projects, kind of take advantage of that low hanging fruit. And so where you see that the biggest red square there, that's part of the Clarington Technology Park. So the region has committed to putting funds in their public works department to bring services there to make sure these lands are available for development in the future. So we're in talks pertaining to those opportunities right now. So just to give you a snapshot there. Orono has a little bit of land there, but it's not serviced. Okay. You can bring it home there, Sheila.
Okay, how are we doing for time? Are we running a little bit over, Steve?
Yeah, but don't worry about it. This is important stuff, and I think everyone's enjoying it. So just proceed.
Okay. Okay, so we just wanted to talk a little bit about innovation and continued investment. So I'm not sure if Leah, I'm going to do this justice, but you know, the new wave in nuclear is these small modular reactors, and so OPG has a great team working on that. Some private companies coming in with a lot of innovative solutions. So we're really connected to all of those projects, and working our way to making sure that Clarington gets some advantage out of this new innovation. Just in the sake of time. So we just wanted to highlight that we all know that Darlington is our biggest employer, that they're a big presence in our community in many ways. But the innovation piece, so the medical isotopes, they're more than just about bringing us electricity and turning our lights and computers on in the morning. So we are staying engaged and looking for all the opportunities that we can possibly find out of the projects coming out of Darlington and OPG as a whole. Go ahead, Bonnie. There we go. The thank you. Yay. So I do want to thank Rotary for inviting us today. You're a really important audience to us. We value the reach that you have in the community. And I guess if we're going to go away with an ask from Rotary, it's that you share that we are here as a resource. You all enter stores, different stores, you're encountering different business people on the daily. And so please let them know that we are here as a resource for the business community. And the more we know, the more we can help. And so again, thank you. I thank you very much for giving us this opportunity.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Sheila and Bonnie. That was, as I said just a couple of seconds ago, important for all of us to hear what CBOT is doing, you know, generally, and as it relates to COVID recovery here in Clarington. Yeah, we've run a little bit over, and I think Leah and Lloyd, we might have to adjust your pieces today, but I want to see if anyone has any questions. We've got time for a couple of questions of Bonnie and Sheila. Joe.
Yeah, one of the things that is coming out of the pandemic is that a lot of people are going to be working from home. That's what people say in the future, even after the pandemic is over. I'm just wondering if you have any thoughts on A, what that means for actual workplaces here in Clarington, and B, what that might mean for residential expansion as people move here from other places who will end up working at home. So travel is not such a big deal. How do you think that's going to change the landscape?
So I'll take a first crack at that, Bonnie. So it's interesting. We've had several conversations with realtors in Toronto because we sort of use that as a litmus test. What does it mean from a commercial real estate? I'm going to answer that piece first. From a commercial real estate perspective, we don't think, the industry doesn't think that we will go back. Most people will go back full time. I think it'll be a hybrid of people working from home part of the time and people going into the office for another part of the time. They really don't believe that it's going to be a minimizing of space necessarily, because the workforce is going to require to have more space around us, right? And so you're not going to be able to cram as many people into a square footage as you could in order to keep your employees safe when they are in the office. So that's the best guess, honestly, that we've encountered. As for residential real estate, well, we're all seeing that happen, aren't we? Not only in residential, but in commercial and industrial. The price of industrial land and buildings out here I never thought in my career I would see industrial land the price it is today. Sorry, I lost my train of thought.
Does that mean a lot more people will get a chance to work from home if there are more jobs created here?
I think so. We need the infrastructure, right? We need to push the federal government to start looking at broadband as an essential piece of infrastructure for all of Canada. Because until we have that, working from home does pose its challenges, as we all know, as we freeze in that really unattractive way on the screen once in a while.
All right.
And also the service land, right? And being able to build at a rate that people are coming out of the city, I think is important.
All right. Well, thank you very much, Sheila and Bonnie. We really appreciate you taking time out of your day to fill us in on what's going on. You're welcome back anytime, not just as guests, but if you want to join up, that'd be okay too. We'd love to have you here. So with that, one thing we're doing in lieu of gifts to speakers, we've partnered with Bowmanville High School. There's a student-led initiative going on there where they're creating wellness packs for mental health wellness packs for students, recognizing that, well, generally, teenagers deal with all sorts of things, depression and anxiety, and during COVID, it's ramped up even more. So these students are creating these packs just with stress balls and journals and treats and that sort of thing in them to give people that need a boost, that little boost. So we're helping fund those, and a few of those are donated in your names to students. All right.
Very nice. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
All right. With that, Leah, I think we're going to reschedule your classification talk to another day to give it enough, the right amount of time. Lloyd, you've got a community report for us, correct?
I do, and I'm just going to share my screen quickly. Okay. So as you folks know, that I'm on the board of the Valleys 2000 board, and one of the things that we do is work with the municipality on trail expansion and extension. I'm really pleased to tell you that right now construction is underway for the next leg of the Bowmanville Valley path. So if you go down to Baseline Road near Hunt Street, you'll see some construction equipment, and that is because they are digging a half a kilometer long extension to the trail. Right now, the Bowmanville Valley Trail ends at Baseline Road. This summer, you'll be able to cross Baseline Road and continue down the trail right to the waterfront trail, and then be able to connect up with the waterfront trail down at the south end of the. It's pretty cool because they're doing some engineering, and they've got to do some excavation, digging under the 401 a bit. And they've got to do that before the trout start running upstream. But it's going to be great, guys. This is amazing. So if you're a runner or a cyclist, this is huge for you, because now suddenly you can get onto the trail at the top of Roanoke there, and fly along to your heart's content. So pretty exciting stuff.
That's really good news, Lloyd. That's been in the works for some time, way back even when I was on the Valley's 2000 board. I love that this is coming to fruition. Any questions of Lloyd? Nope, just thumbs up and smiles. That's fantastic. Okay, time for a couple of happy bucks. Anyone have anything they want to share with us? Ellie, and then Wayne.
I have 50 happy bucks.
Wow.
I sold my house yesterday.
Yay.
Nathan. It's like, it's gone. I can move on.
Excellent. Congratulations, Ellie, and well done, Jason. Wayne.
Yes, I got some happy bucks, and I just finished 365 consecutive days of walking. When the gym got shut down, I thought, well, I got to do something. So I'm starting on year 2 now.
Well done, Wayne. That's excellent. Okay, Joe.
Yeah, I have happy buck news to report. Ron Collis's wife, Maureen, after many weeks in the hospital, came home this past weekend, and is improving. And we hope for a full recovery down the road. And it's just wonderful to see and wonderful to hear. And I think everyone's pretty grateful for that.
That's awesome news. Thank you, Joe.
Yeah.
Okay. I've got a few announcements, several. First off, St. Vincent de Paul, their food bank, approached Ellie, and they've asked if we would help with delivery of some of their food packs 1 day a month. The third Wednesday of every month, they need a few, able-bodied folks with vehicles that could do a delivery or 2 for them. If you're able, on that third Wednesday of each month, and I think it's during the day, right, Ellie? Yeah.
It would be anytime afternoon.
Okay.
From 12 to, if you do it at, say, 2 o'clock, they can make arrangements for you to pick up the baskets 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, something like that. If
So
it's arranged, they're good.
If you're able to help out with that, please drop Ellie an email so she's got a running list. Ellie, you've got me on that list. The first Wednesday, it's not tomorrow, right? Or is it?
It's the third Wednesday, and no, we won't start this week.
Okay.
What I'll do is compile the names that you guys send me. I will then give it over to Joan, and ideally how I'd like to set it up is that she'll have your name and your contact number, and that week or the week before, she will reach out to you and say, I need some help. She may just do an email blast to each of you, like as a group, and then she'll coordinate any of you people we have with how many baskets need to be delivered.
So it's pretty easy, right? They do all the coordination. We just need to show up, put the baskets in our vehicle and deliver them to the location that we need. And it's contactless. We drop them on the front porch, or we meet the person at the base of their apartment building and go from there. Okay. So let Ellie know if you're able to help. Secondly, you're going to start to hear, if you haven't already, you're going to start to hear rumblings. We've got a small but growing committee that's organizing a drive-through ribs event during our weekend in June. It is exactly what it says. This is not a rib fest. It's just we're going to have 3 ribbers and maybe a couple other food vendors. And we're going to create an opportunity for people to drive through, pick up some ribs, pre-order online like they did with the Valentine's party if they want to. And then we'll be there, kind of taking donations and directing. And it's just that easy. So that's starting to come together. You may see some communications from Chris Velasco on that. Next piece. Over the past, couple of years, it should have been a lot longer, but diversity, equity, inclusion has been a theme of not only Rotary, but of society. And in the board meeting the other night, we decided that we want to start a committee within our club, a working group within our club, to see how we can tee ourselves up to be a place that would draw sectors of the community that aren't really represented within our club right now. Joe has volunteered, I think, to participate on the district's committee, and our incoming Assistant District Governor, Gord Wallace, is going to be putting his name forward. But we need people from the club. So if you're interested in participating in this, please send me an email and let me know, and we'll get the first session set up and pick who's going to be the leader of this initiative in that. But I think it's an important thing. So if you want to be involved in improving our diversity, equity, and inclusion, send me a note. Next thing up. Next week is an evening meeting. It's an important meeting, and I've thrown us. I always joke that I screw one thing up a meeting. Well, I did this one a couple of weeks early. We're going to have our meeting at 7:30 in the evening next Thursday, March 25th, and that's a big one. That we're going to be presenting Paul Harris Fellows to everyday heroes of the pandemic, and we've got a whole host of folks that were nominated by you, our members. They've all been notified. I notified them the wrong time. That's why we're moving it to 7:30 in the evening. So it should be quite a special evening. A few of you have been identified as the folks doing the presenters to each of them. And I've got a couple of spots to fill, so I may be reaching out to a couple more in the next couple of days. So book off next Thursday evening at 7:30. 2 final things before we drop. The Great Lakes Watershed cleanup planning is full underway. Lloyd and Fred Mandrick are taking the lead on that. We've been getting some help from Leah Bourgeois as well. It's a massive multi-district Rotary wide sort of thing, well, in our areas anyways, to clean up the areas surrounding the lakes. Lloyd and Fred are doing everything they can to work with the town, Valleys 2000, and I think the schools to make sure that it's a really successful program, but it's in line with all of the COVID restrictions that may or may not be in place at the time. And that's targeted for April 24th, Saturday, April 24th. So in line kind of with Earth Day. And finally, we need a couple of volunteers from the club to take an hour training course to get certified on submitting district grants. Last year, Joe and Ellie were our representatives. They sat this time and successfully submitted a district grant application that we were awarded. But that certification only lasts a year, strangely. So for some reason, Rotary International creates a bit of an onerous process. And if we're going to think of submitting a district grant over the next year, we need a couple of volunteers. So again, if you're willing to help on that front, please send me a note and I'll get you all the particulars. All right. And with that.
Can I just add to that, please, Steve?
Yeah.
The 2 people that qualified, you're qualifying the club. It does mean you personally have to do the grant applications. Qualified, anybody in the club can apply for a grant.
Excellent. Thank you, Ellie. Okay, and with that, if there's nothing else for the good of Rotary, remembering the things that you say and you do. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? And with that, have a fantastic week, everyone. Thank you for your time today. And Leah, sorry we had to reschedule. We'll catch you another time, all right?
No worries.
Cheers.
Thanks, Steve.